Part 3. The house watch's third morning came with heavy rain pounding against the windows. It was a hollow, relentless sound, like 100 hands drumming on the glass. I'd hoped for daylight to bring clarity, but it only deepened my dread. My footage from the night before confirmed what I'd feared. I wasn't imagining things. The shadow in the mirror, the whispers, even the laughter, it was all real. My viewers would eat this up. Sure, but at what cost? Something was wrong with the house. Something fundamental. It wasn't just haunted. It was alive, and it was watching me. I set up more cameras, placing them strategically around the house. Every hallway, every room, every corner I could think of. If there was a pattern to the occurrences, I wanted to find it. As I worked, I noticed a new detail. The house seemed to have shifted overnight. Hallways were slightly longer, doors didn't lead to the same rooms they had before, and the stairs creaked in unfamiliar places. When I tried to return to the small room with the claw marks, it was gone. What the hell? I muttered, running my hand along the wall where the door should have been. There was no seam, no hint that a door had ever existed. It didn't make sense. But then again, nothing about this place did. By midday, the house felt stifling, as if the very air was pressing down on me. I decided to head outside for some fresh air, but as I reached for the front door, I froze. The handle was ice cold, and the moment I touched it, a jolt of pain shot through my hand. I yanked it back, cradling my fingers. The handle glowed faintly, like embers dying in a fire, and then returned to its normal, lifeless state. The message was clear. The house wasn't letting me leave. Frustrated and more than a little scared, I retreated to the study. It was one of the few rooms that still felt relatively normal, with its old bookshelves and faded armchair. I flipped through the books, hoping to find anything that could explain what was happening. Most of the titles were mundane, dusty tomes on history and philosophy, but one book, tucked away on the highest shelf, caught my eye. Its leather cover was cracked with age, and the title was barely legible. The Keeper's Journal. Inside were scrawled notes in a cramped, spidery hand. They spoke of rituals, bindings, and something called the presence. One passage sent a chill down my spine. The house consumes those who trespass. It feeds on fear, on despair, on the very essence of life itself. Only the keeper can appease it, but the keeper is long gone. I slammed the book shut, my hands trembling. Great, just great, I muttered. The house eats people. Perfect. As if in response, the chandelier above me began to sway, slowly at first, then more violently. Dust rained down, and the light bulbs flickered before shattering in unison. I bolted out of the study, my heart pounding. The house was angry. Back in the hallway, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. The walls were covered in faint, ghostly handprints. They weren't there earlier. I was sure of it. I followed the trail of prints, which grew more pronounced as I went. They led me to the grand staircase, and at the top, the double doors to the master bedroom stood ajar. I locked that. I whispered. My camera was already rolling as I ascended the stairs. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the house was trying to push me back. When I reached the top, I hesitated. The air was icy, and the smell of lavender was back, stronger than ever. I pushed the doors open with one hand, the other gripping my camera like a weapon. The room was empty, or so I thought. The mirror above the dresser, the same one where I'd seen the shadow the night before, was now covered in writing. Words scrawled in dripping black ink, their meaning both cryptic and terrifying. You are not alone. A movement caught my eye, and I turned just in time to see the wardrobe door creak open. Something was inside. The whispers returned, growing louder with each passing second. My camera shook in my hands as I approached the wardrobe. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't. I reached out, my fingers brushing against the cold wood of the door. Then it happened. A hand long, gnarled, and inhuman shot out, grabbing my wrist. Its grip was impossibly strong, pulling me forward. I screamed, dropping the camera as I fought to free myself. Just as quickly as it appeared, the hand let go, and the door slammed shut. I stumbled back, clutching my wrist. The skin was ice cold where it had touched me, and a faint black mark was already forming, like a bruise. The whispers faded, replaced by a low, rumbling laugh that echoed through the room. I grabbed my camera and fled, not stopping until I was back in the entry hall. That was when I realized something horrifying. The front door was gone. To be continued.